my fellow Americans, and my fellow citizens of the world community, I ask you to share with me today the majesty of this moment. In the orderly transfer of power, we celebrate the unity that keeps us free.
Neil and Buzz, the President of the United States is in his office now and would like to say a few words to you. Over.
That would be an honor.
Go ahead, Mr. President. This is Houston out.
Hello, Neil and Buzz. I'm talking to you by telephone from the Oval Room at the White House. And this certainly has to be the most historic telephone call ever made. I just can't tell you how proud we all are of what you... For every American, this has to be the proudest day of our lives. And for people all over the world, I am sure they too join with Americans in recognizing what an immense feat this is. And as you talk to us from the Sea of Tranquility, it inspires us to redouble our efforts to bring peace and tranquility to Earth.
He said, when you are trying to assist another nation defend its freedom, U.S. policy should be to help them fight the war, but not to fight the war for them. Well, in accordance with this wise counsel, I laid down in Guam 3 principles as guidelines for future American policy toward Asia. First, the United States will keep all of its treaty commitments. Second, we shall provide a shield if a nuclear power threatens the freedom of a nation allied with us or of a nation whose survival we consider vital to our security. Third, in cases involving other types of aggression, we shall furnish military and economic assistance when requested in accordance with our treaty commitments. But we shall look to the nation directly threatened to assume the primary responsibility of providing the manpower for its defense. In the previous administration, we Americanized the war in Vietnam. In this administration, we are Vietnamizing the search for peace.
Well, we have a very famous PhD on our staff, Dr. Henry Kissinger, our advisor for international affairs. And then I'm sure that when I introduce Dr. Kissinger, you'll remember that on July the 15th, I announced that he had been in Peking, and that as a result of his visit, that I would be paying a visit, the first president of the United States to visit mainland China. And so I believe that it is essential that now we take the steps to open a dialogue. It isn't going to settle the differences, they are deep, but to open a dialogue that will discuss those differences so that now and 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, the people and government of the United States, the people and government of the People's Republic of China, while we will continue to have differences, we'll talk about them. We will not fight about them. This, we think, is important for the future generations. Now a word about this area. Everybody in the United States has heard of Hanford and what it means in terms of the nuclear power that it has created. Everybody knows that it is still important in terms of nuclear weaponry, which is essential as an instrument for keeping the peace in the world, as a deterrent to war, as a deterrent to those who might start war. But today, we must think not only in that respect, but we must think far beyond of what that nuclear power can do in terms of peace. And let me say something that I know will be understood here, but which too often is not understood in many parts of our country. Many people in this country, because nuclear power is so destructive, are afraid of it. What we have to understand is that when you have such enormous power, let's use it for peace. Let's find a way to use it. And that, of course, is the future as far as this area is concerned. Don't be afraid of it. Build it for peace. Environment and preserving it. If you're going to have a clean and beautiful environment in this country, we have to have a new source of energy, plentiful and clean. And we can have that new source of energy. The place to get it, one of the major places to get it, certainly, is through the development of nuclear energy. That the United States was going to go forward in building a breeder reactor.
The governments of the United States and the Soviet Union, after reviewing the course of their talks on the limitation of strategic armaments, have agreed to concentrate this year on working out an agreement for the limitation of the deployment of anti-ballistic missile systems, ABMs. They have also agreed that together with concluding an agreement to limit ABMs, they will agree on certain measures with respect to the limitation of offensive strategic weapons. The two sides are taking this course in the conviction that it will create more favorable conditions for further negotiations to limit all strategic arms.